Good morning, everybody. Nikki Burnett here, Taste Life Nutrition Radio, here with my good friend, Coop.
Hello, everybody.
Chris Cooper. He is the co-founder of Vantage Movement. And so we're going to talk a little bit about that. But what is Taste Life Radio? We are, I feel like I'm echoing. Anyway, see, I told you I always mess up. But we're here to bring truth, and we're here to have a little bit of fun. We're here to talk about dogs and health and nutrition, and just, have some fun with this, especially in this world that's, so crazy, and this, lack of understanding of what's right and what's wrong when it comes to healthcare. And so we just want to help everybody to understand, for one, that you are different than everybody else. You are an individual, you're unique, your environment's unique, your genetic makeup is unique, your relationships, your history, everything about you is unique, which means that you're different as far as what your needs are than everybody else. And so when we bring people in, I think one of my favorite things, for one, is bringing in healthcare entrepreneurs. I love that, and I do it probably more than anything else. I don't know that I've brought anybody in that's not an entrepreneur to this point, which is kind of cool, I think.
It's very cool.
But, people who have a true passion and love for the individual, and they don't look at a group of people and say, you need this, and you need this, and everybody's the same, and, well, if you're not getting the results that you want, well, what are you doing wrong? That's what I hate. What are you doing? Because it can't be me.
Yeah.
God
forbid it's the program. God forbid it's the template.
I know, it's so true. So that's one of my favorite things about Vantage Movement, and about people who have that true healthcare entrepreneurial spirit with an understanding of the individual. And then that's what we all need. That's how I practice. And I just think it's so important. So, with that being said, we're going to jump in here in a minute. But as always, we start with gratitude. So, what are you grateful for today?
The cheesy answer is I'm grateful for this opportunity. But it's true. And beyond that, I'm grateful for the relationships that I have been able to foster over the last 9-10 years of business, and just the different opportunities to make an impact, not just on our members, but on our members' families, connections, that next rung beyond the people that we see every day.
Yeah.
So I'm grateful for that opportunity.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. That's kind of life, right? We want to make the most of the opportunities that we have, and try not to let them just slide by. And connection is huge, and connection is a huge part of your gym.
Yes.
And community, which is awesome. And I think it's a really beautiful trend, and when it comes to anything as far as lifestyle, so working out and that kind of thing. So I belonged to a yoga studio for a long time, and it was we're building a community, and that's what you're doing. You're building community, and you have events, and you connect people, and people develop relationships, in those communities, right? And get to know each other, whether it's business relationships, personal relationships, all of it.
Yeah. I agree 100%. We are responsible for 2, 3, 4, about at least 6 kids that we know of.
Oh,
so directly related to members that have connected in that personal side, and have been married and had at least one child. So
that's really fun. I've often, not often, but the few times that I've said this, I've said, well, I got her pregnant.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. Don't drink the water at our gym unless you want to be fertile.
Right. So it's interesting, because in my world, and when I work with fertility clients, I'm like, yay, I got her pregnant, and which is totally weird, but it's funny.
You get the people that are just looking at you like sideways, like, what?
But for you, same thing. Yeah. You made those connections. I think that's really cool, really fun. So, what am I grateful for? And I maybe will be a little bit cheesy right now too, but because you're here, it's what you've given me or the gym, right, as far as being fit and being healthy. Because when we started out, I mean, I'm always doing something. I've never not done something, whether it's just walking, running, or
Being active.
yoga. Yeah, that's always something. I lifted weights for a long time, but I get bored.
We all do.
Yeah, yeah.
We all do.
And so, give it just a really quick history. How we met is through my husband, who's commercial real estate. They were looking for a place, and it came together, and it's turned into this really big, beautiful, awesome place. So I have always been fearful, though, of CrossFit.
Yes.
And I think a lot of people are, because when I tell people I'm doing CrossFit, I don't know, is it still called CrossFit now?
The methodology that we use is CrossFit.
Yeah.
We are not a CrossFit affiliate.
Okay, that's what I thought. I just want to make
Yeah,
sure that I'm
100%.
clear about that,
Yeah,
too.
you're accurate.
But there's fear in the unknowing and the not knowing, and are you going to get hurt, and are they going to push you too hard, and are they mean, and and when I tell people I'm doing CrossFit, they're like, really? It's really funny,
Like that kind of suspect, yet also like intrigued. Like, wait a minute, I don't see you as being a CrossFitter, but aren't you afraid? And what are you doing? And you seem like really happy and healthy, and you can lift things like couches.
Yeah, the couches all by myself. But so finally, my husband had an accident, so he didn't move really for quite a few years, and he had a bad leg. Anyway, so it came to the point to where he was not moving, he was not feeling well, and I was kind of getting burnt out with yoga, which I hate to say, because if I could do both, I would just do both, and I should. I still do some,
Don't
just
shit on
not
yourself.
enough.
Don't
I
shit
know.
on
Thank
yourself.
you. Good reminder. Anyway, so I started looking for places, and Lowry's like, "Well, if we're gonna go, let's go to Amanda and Coop's place." I'm like, "Oh, CrossFit! I can do it. Anyway, it's been the best decision.
Good.
And I'm gonna say this. I want to get into why you do and how you do what you do.
Yeah.
But the best thing about it is there is no pressure. There's pushing to make you better.
Yeah.
But there's always, from every single coach there. How many coaches do you have now?
1, 2, 3, 7.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's a big gym, and it's great. And so the reason I want to say this too, for one, because it's his gym and they're amazing, but for two, when you go and you find something like this, you want to make sure the people are treating you as an individual. So if you have injury, if you have things that you're unable to do, some physical disabilities, whatever it is, all of that stuff can be worked around, and it should be worked around. But you want to make sure that there is that level of knowledge and capability to help you to lift and move properly, so you don't eliminate the chance of getting hurt, but it's greatly decreased.
Yeah, you reduce it as much as possible.
Yeah. I mean, if you get hurt, you can't move. And so, that's what we really want to avoid.
Yeah, we want you to be durable. We want you to be able
Yeah.
to handle things outside of the gym and use the gym as a means to get you there. So.
One of my favorite things, and it really hit with me and hit with Lowry, and this is true for everybody out there, that it might have been Ray, but it was one of the coaches, and it was, we do functional movements.
Yes.
And I'm just going to show you. I don't know what you can see, but it was, you don't go to here when you're doing a squat. You go to here, right?
Yes.
The reason why is because that's what it takes to sit on the potty.
I love that you called it a potty.
So, but that makes sense, because as you age, I can't remember the stat he gave, but as you age and you can't do those things, that's a problem, because usually we potty multiple times a day.
Yes, especially the older we get.
Yes.
Sometimes in the middle of the night.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So there's a lot more to it than just building muscle and doing the things. Of course, that's what we want to do, because it's important to have muscle as we age. The more muscle we have, the more bone density we have, the stronger we are. We don't have to worry as much or maybe at all, about the osteopenia and the osteoporosis. You know, it's our lack of movement over, you know, this since, you know, the Industrial Revolution, when things just get easier and easier and easier, and we're like, okay, well, I can sit behind my computer and eat my donut and drink my coffee and not move for 12 hours.
Yeah.
And it's easy to do. I don't eat a donut, but I have been known to sit behind my computer for hours on end. Now I have a stand-up and the whole thing, but it's still movement. We got to move.
Most of the injuries I've sustained in the last 5 years have been when I've stopped exercising and started working more behind my computer, because I'll find myself in a hunched over position, like right in front of my screen, head forward, rounded shoulders, and then my hips and back start to act up. So it's the inactivity injuries that lead me to miss out on the things I want to do.
Yeah, well, and that's exactly it. And it's a great way of putting it, because if you are injured, there are lots of things you can do.
Yeah.
Not good. All right, so let's talk about the beginning, and you know, for however far you want to go back, what brought you here, why are you here, what motivates you, what excites you, all of the fun stuff about
all the stuff
about
that,
you.
All the stuff that I don't ever want to talk about.
I think it's good to know. It's important to know.
It is. My history is, I moved to Colorado in 2005 because my brother was living out here. He went to CSU, and this was, believe it or not, this was before the day and age where you could trust roommates that you found on the internet.
Wow.
Yep. Back
Seems
in the
like
day.
So long ago, but maybe not so long ago.
It's like 16 years, but it's like an eternity ago.
Yeah.
So I was originally lived in New York, but I didn't want to live with just a random person. None of my friends wanted to move in an apartment. So I was like, all right, cool. I'm going to go out to Colorado, move in with my brother and see what's up. Couldn't afford a gym membership, so I got a job working at the front desk.
Okay.
I started working out more than I was working behind the front desk. So one of the personal trainers, who was also a professor at Metro, who became one of my mentors, encouraged me to get my personal training certification. So started studying, got certified, and then got hired on as a personal trainer. Maybe like 8 months later, Amanda got hired at the same gym, and we were training, working the same hours, working basically from 5 in the morning till about 9. Then there was about an hour gap before the CEOs would roll into their workout, and then we would work from 10 to around 1, get our lunch break, and then come back around 4 o'clock in the afternoon and work from like 4 till 8.
Okay.
So we started spending really similar hours together, lunches together, dinners together, started dating, and my wife comes from a family of entrepreneurs.
Amanda's been on this show before. She's super awesome mompreneur.
Yes.
Cool lady.
Yes, she is. So she comes from a family of entrepreneurs. I come from a family of teachers.
Oh,
so,
nice.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yes. Yes. A really good match when it comes to being an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Especially in our industry. So she was always talking about wanting to open up her own or our own gym. And I was like, no, you climb the corporate ladder, you personal training manager, then whatever comes after that. And quickly realized that wasn't the way that we could have the biggest impact. You see people 3 times a week, you see people twice a week, and that's pretty much what you were limited to. So the idea of opening up our own facility started becoming more and more of a reality. And by the time I was 29, I was like, I want to open up the gym by 30.
Nice, setting goals.
Set the goal. And like, this is like, because you can talk about it, you can kick it around, but you actually have to like, or get off the pot.
Yeah, it's true.
So
it's true.
We decided to get off the pot, and it was like, all right, cool. So we opened up Amanda quit her job and started working on the business in 11. We opened our first space, I think, in June of 12. 1,000 square feet under an apartment complex.
Wow.
Yeah, it was like literally 1,000 square feet. So with bathrooms and a front desk, it was like 7 and change. Okay. So we fit a lot of people into a really small space. We outgrew the space in 1 year.
Nice.
On June 1st, we moved from 38th and King to 44th and Lowell, and we were there for 5 years. And we always knew that we wanted more. Like, this is good, it works for what we're doing, but we wanted more. So from there, thanks to your husband and his persistence and his patience.
He is very persistent.
Yes.
Sometimes patient. He said he might listen today.
Professionally patient, thank you. We actually moved into our dream space, which is a 7,500 square foot facility, which we have been blessed with.
It's beautiful. It's so great.
And if we were in our old space, there's no way we would have survived 20.
Yeah.
So the fact that we have the space that we have and the outdoor patio that we have, incredibly grateful and incredibly blessed. And so that kind of got us from space to space to space, and here we are. So I've been personal training and running group classes for the last 15 years.
Nice.
Which is terrifying to say. Means I'm getting up there. So.
It is a bizarre thing as you move through life, and you're like, whoa, that was so long ago, and the years go quicker and things get longer ago.
Yes. Yes. When the first time that I thought about my closest friend from back home, and I was like, I've known him for 25 years. How is that possible? I'm not that old. Like, no, I still act like a child. What do you mean?
I know. Well, and you have two
kids,
little ones.
Yeah. Well,
yeah, and they make you grow up.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very quick. When you have a daughter at 26, you grow up fast.
Yeah. Which is good. I feel like I haven't grown up yet because we don't have kids, and so.
That's how young you feel.
It's true. It's the number freaks me out when I hear the number.
Mm-hmm.
Every year I hear a new number.
Yes.
I'm like, what?
Yes.
But yeah, no, it is. It's you feel young, you act young, and I think and part of that is how you treat yourself. I mean, not part of it, maybe almost all of it.
Yeah, part of it.
I mean, there are things that you can't avoid trauma if you have trauma, because that can change us biochemically, epigenetically.
Yes.
It happens.
Yeah.
But we have so much control over when we move, how much we move, what we put in our body, what we put on our body. We don't have a lot of control over environmental toxicants, but we have control over what we put in our house to clean our home, in our yard, all of these things. And so it's an amazing thing, I think, when we think about the amount of control that we truly have in our health and in our future. And I'm not going to say longevity. I think, yes, that's a part of it.
Part of it.
I always say I want to live the best I can for as long as I have.
Yes.
Because we don't really know how long we have.
No, we don't.
Tomorrow can be a surprise.
This afternoon can be a surprise.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So you want to feel good, you want to move, and it puts a lot of responsibility on us, though, which I think there was a time where we didn't realize that responsibility was actually ours, because, and I say this a lot, but we blame pain, aches, these things on aging. We blame it on genetics.
Yep.
We blame it on, bad luck, which, I mean, seriously, come on. It's just bad luck.
It's just bad luck.
I mean,
it's just, yeah.
Not the case. And so it makes us accountable for our health.
Yes.
And accountable for our kids and our kids' kids. I say this a lot too, and I have to say it every time, because if somebody else is listening, it was made such an impact on me. That epigenetically, which means the part of us that we have the ability to control. Have you heard the term epigenetics?
I've heard it, but you explain it to me.
Okay, yeah. Epigenetics, so we have our genetic makeup.
Yes.
Basically the color of our skin, right?
Okay.
Things that don't typically change. Then we have epigenetics. So there are locations on top of our genes that have the ability to turn on and off. So they're little light switches. They turn off due to lifestyle factors. And so
what?
So movement, food, water, stress, trauma, all of it. And it can be too much movement. It can be not enough movement. Too much movement. You got your really type A's. It can create too much inflammation.
Yeah.
It can create some problem for people. And so we have, on my website, we do have control over our genetic destiny, because we have such control, not full control, so much control over how we move, how we live, how all of these things, and I'm beating
we
an
abdicate.
old drum now, but
We're in an age where we want to abdicate as much responsibility to someone else.
yeah,
I'm not
Exactly.
healthy. I'm going to go to a doctor.
Mm-hmm.
The doctor's going to give me something that's
A pill.
going to make me feel better.
Yeah.
When actually, if you choose to make your own food and not eat out all the time,
Mm-hmm.
if you choose to investigate what goes into the lotions that you put on your skin.
Yes.
I
Huge.
always joked about the amount of estrogen in the water until Amanda started looking at estrogen and how much estrogen goes into creams, shampoo, soaps, and all of the things that we put on our bodies every day, and seeing all of the chemicals that you would have no idea goes into them, and go, whoa, and you're in control of what you put on your skin, just like you were saying, what you ingest,
Mm-hmm.
but we want to abdicate it. We don't
Yeah.
want that responsibility.
Right. It's true. It's true. And yeah, it's a big part of, why we do what we do, is so and so we all know that we do play a huge part, and it is our responsibility as an individual. I can't go to somebody else and say, what can you do? I can ask for guidance.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's why we do what we do.
Yeah.
We're here to help and to be guides, and that's what I think of myself as, is I'm a guide.
Yeah.
For people when I work with them.
Yeah.
I want to have a little clarity around that, though, with the estrogen, because what happens is when we have these chemicals that are put into, so you can have pesticides, herbicides, you can have all of these preservatives and things, whether it's in food or whether it's in our lotions and hair stuff. They're considered xenoestrogens, which means they're fake estrogens.
There you go.
Yeah. So these fake estrogens, what they do is they bind to estrogen receptor sites, and they bind much harder than our own natural estrogen would. And so this is true for men and for women. And so what happens then is you have these receptor sites that can no longer accept estrogen because it's all bound up. And then you have your natural estrogens going, I don't know what to do. So you've got all of this estrogen and this crazy hormonal imbalance, and it can create boobs in men, and it can create soft, and it can create, crazy hormonal symptoms for women. I've seen it. Thankfully, I've not experienced it, but I've seen it. And so when we have certain epigenetics that don't allow us to detoxify properly, it really just exacerbates the situation much, much more than it would if it was normal. And so learning to find those things and understand, and the things that I do is I do the testing so I can look and see, are you detoxifying? Where are your hormone levels? How is this happening? So then we can allow your body to balance in a better way and let it do its job.
You're so smart.
I know a couple of things. A lot of people know a lot of things, but it's such a huge part of our world right now.
Yes.
And we do have the ability to mitigate that.
Yeah.
I will also say, though, with the hormones that are put into the pharmaceuticals, the birth control pills, things like that, those hormones, we pee them out, they get into the water supply. So we are inundated with hormones. There are also metalloestrogens, so heavy metals that create the same reaction as these xenoestrogens. So you've got chemical and metal. Yeah, it's bizarre and it's crazy, and we're inundated. And so movement helps the body to detoxify. You detoxify through sweat, you detoxify through urine and stool and blood and skin. Probably should forget skin. It's the biggest detoxifying organ. What else is there? I mean,
he goes through the list. How could I forget that one?
Oh, there's so many lists, and I'm always forgetting. Anyway, so cool. So let's talk a little bit about, I like, when we were sort of pre-show, we talked a little bit about, the mindset and lifestyle, and that's kind of, what we're talking about, gets into the lifestyle and the choices we make when it comes to the gym, and I think as an entrepreneur, the choices you make to continue to move forward, to help people to get better, and to bring more people in, to reach more people.
Yes.
So we talked already a little bit about community and what you do. So the things that you do to build community, what are you doing, and do you have other ideas, things that you want to do? What's going on there?
So community starts with the relationships. Since the get-go, we've known that the best way to impact someone is to get to know who they are, right? So establishing one-on-one understanding about who the people are that we meet. It's one of the great things about having our gym is that our group classes are never really bigger than like 15. So everybody that we see on a daily basis, we can get to know who they are, who their family is, what's going on in their lives, the ups, the downs, the goods, the bads. So our community starts with an understanding of the relationships and the responsibility of those relationships. People come into our space because, one, they're not seen in their life. They work in a cubicle, they're a number, they're in a relationship that isn't necessarily healthy, and all of a sudden they come to our space and they're seen for who they are and where they are, right? It's not like, as you were saying, we're not just a cookie cutter, like, all right, cool, everybody does this program. It's individualized for where they are, who they are, and what they're dealing with on a daily basis, because everybody goes through their own story.
Yeah.
So we've wanted to connect not just ourselves, but each other, right? Because we're a local gym. The people that come to our gym pretty much live in and around the same neighborhoods. So we have a lot in common. So it's getting to know our members and letting our members get to know each other. So we want to foster that kind of space where people get to know and connect with other people in the same walk of life, the same season of life, and with the same interests. That's where the question of the day, we always ask a question of the day. It starts off almost every class. The question of the day started when we started getting an influx of members and I couldn't remember everybody's name. So the easiest way to get them to share what their name was. And then we started seeing, you ask a question today, what's your favorite movie? And all of a sudden, you start seeing people have similar favorite movies. And then they get to start connecting with each other. And you find out more and more from the same area, same schools, same, ages of kids. So we started there and just kept building those relationships and connecting the dots for our members. And then it was like, all right, well, let's give them a place where they can, it doesn't have to be so awkward. We're like, hey, let me get your number and we can go grab a beer. So we started having events at the gym, whether it was social events or whether it be clinics like we've done. Were you at the Olympic lifting clinic in Wine?
No.
Okay.
No.
So we do clinics where we learn a movement and then we socialize and hang out because you want a balance of both. So right now, last year, we just wanted people to come to the gym so that they could interact with each other. That was the big thing, is like we were all missing just human interaction. And now it's starting to open up and get a little bit more comfortable. Now it's trying to figure out ways that we can allow people to connect with each other, as well as allowing people to learn something new, right? So whether it was the cocktail contest, you came in second? Third.
I made a margarita that was fresh made, real limes, did have sugar. I have to say it because anyway,
what's the recipe?
It was organic raw sugar, and then Anaheim chilies. It was in it.
A little bit of heat to it.
A little bit, but mostly pepper flavor. There's the chilies are so you just don't know if they're going to be hot or not, and so really not a lot of heat to this one, but a lot of
Just
chili flavor.
Pepper,
which was nice. So
sounds tasty.
it's delicious.
It was enough to get you third.
I think so.
That's pretty good.
I was like,
podium.
come on, first.
Yeah.
Anyway.
What was that? Win, place, or show? Because the Preakness is this weekend. So you should.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yep.
There you go.
Yep.
So it's whether it's cocktail contest, whether it's weightlifting and some sort of wine or whiskey, some sort of social aspect. As we come into the summer, we're going to try to outreach into our teachers, because
that's right. I saw that yesterday.
Yep, our teachers strong AF. Don't ask me what the AF stands for.
You got it.
You know what it means. So we're going to be reaching out to our teachers because they've had a very stressful year.
Yeah.
And anybody that has a growth mindset wants to learn and do new things. So a lot of teachers don't necessarily weightlift. They don't necessarily have the time or energy to exercise, maybe outside of going for a run. So we want to give them a space to learn a new physical skill, as well as give them a place to hang out together outside of school, socialize, get strong. We're going to be reaching out to our kids. So summer vacation, parents need to put kids places. What better place than coming to a gym, learning to kind of demystify the gym, because a lot of people, the hardest thing about going to the gym is actually going through the front door. So we want to demystify it and give people and give children an opportunity to fall in love with movement, fall in love with exercise and fitness at a young age.
Yep.
So we're reaching out to
And not
that
on the
population.
iPad. Oh. That right there, and I totally interrupt you, I'm sorry.
It's okay, please.
But this is what creates a sick child and brings a sick human or adult.
Yeah.
Is this. Because what is that doing to your neck and to your entire spinal cord and into everything else?
Yeah.
in
I
your
don't
body?
remember what the stat is,
Amazing.
but when your head goes from sitting normal to out in front, the amount of pressure that it puts on the rest of the system is insane.
It is insane.
Yeah.
I need to take a quick break. This is Henry taking care of me, going, Nikki, take your break. So, real quick, we're going to talk about Rightful, one of my favorite newer companies. Been around now for a couple of years, but they are a pain management company. It's a pretty cool product. So they have a morning and an evening product. It's a coconut milk base, but it is the active component in it is curcumin. And the way that they have created it, because curcumin is such a potent anti-inflammatory, and so they've created it where the evening is a calming, sleepy time. It really helps people to sleep, whereas the morning is one that's kind of a wake up focus, alert, exactly. But it's amazing for helping to manage pain. And so it's working so well that they are selling into pain management clinics. And what I say pretty much every time, because I love it, is we're starting to see signs where allopathic medicine and the holistic/functional medicine world are coming together and working together. And when I see a product like this in a functional in a pain management clinic, and it's in lots of pain management clinics, but you know that it's working, and you know that it's much better than taking the drugs that are often given, sometimes necessary, a lot of times not, but even for shorter periods of time, right? So you take both of them together potentially, and then you decrease the time that you're on the strong stuff, and you take something like this. And so, great company. They're really great at what they do. Go to their website and put in TLN20. It's just rightful.com. Put in TLN20. You'll get a discount. Really, really great stuff. And that's it. So let's move on and talk about some other fun stuff.
Let's do it.
Yeah. So let's talk about being an entrepreneur.
Okay.
For a little bit.
Sure.
We've gotten into some of the sciencey stuff, and I'm sure we'll get back to it because I can't help it.
That's just where we go.
Yeah. It's just part of it.
You knew that coming into it, guys.
Yeah. The science mind never goes away. But I am a new entrepreneur. And I say new because this is my first, I'm pushing 7 years now. But it's still, every day I feel like a newbie entrepreneur.
Yeah.
And I'm always learning and always figuring stuff out and always making mistakes. And, it's just part of it.
Yeah.
When I was in school, every class I took was a science class.
Okay.
Basically. It never crossed my mind that I would be an entrepreneur. Never took business classes. I'm like, that doesn't interest me. Just give me the science, Not smart. If you are young and you're going to school, take some business classes. Even if you don't want to be an entrepreneur, you got to take business classes.
Yeah, you never know where life's going to take you.
You
have no idea.
know. Man, the things that I would do differently. But what is it? How are you? So you didn't know that you're going to be an entrepreneur.
Nope.
You are now.
Yes.
What do you feel like? What's success to you? I know it's a really kind of vague question.
It's a broad question.
Yeah.
And it's one that I have struggled with. And the example that I had that came to mind was, it's a lot like love, in that it's hard to describe, but you know it when you feel it.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay. So I actually put some serious thoughts when I read that question, because what is your perfect day and what is success to you are two questions that I've struggled with since opening up the gym. So success to me is an overflow of people at my funeral.
Wow, that's awesome. Yeah.
That would be success.
Okay. Yeah.
Because of the way that I'm wired, I am always looking to the next thing.
Mm-hmm.
Set a goal or a milestone, because you set a goal, and then when you get there, it's not really nearly as rewarding as you thought it would be.
Mm-hmm.
It's a milestone. You're like, okay, cool, I've done this. Now what's next?
Now it takes me to the next thing.
Yeah, and it's that next jumping off point. It's that mile marker. Like, all right, cool, I've gone this far. Let's keep going. So when I was thinking about what success is, it's an overflow of people that I have impacted and that I have had relationship with at my funeral, being like, wow, like, okay, cool. I had a big turnout because I had that much impact and influenced that many people. On a day-to-day, it's success would be time, energy, and money.
Yeah.
If I have the time and the energy and the money to do what I want to do when I want to do it, that's a feeling or a data point of success.
Yeah, yeah.
So.
No, I agree. And as I was, kind of doing a little bit of research, and it was kind of fun because the title of this was, the athlete entrepreneur, right? We put it here. And then I went, wait, we have mompreneurs, we can have athlepreneurs. And so I was like, ooh, I came up with a new one.
Yes, you did.
And I actually did a Google search, and I did see in, I think, Facebook, there's athlepreneur, but when I put it into, I don't do Google, it's DuckDuckGo. But,
DuckDuckGo.
DuckDuckGo is much safer. Just saying.
Just heads up. Okay.
To DuckDuckGo. Oh, there's a new one, too. Oh, I wish I could remember. So this is, Lowry's always searching for the newer and the safer.
Yeah.
Shoot, I want to give
Lowry, if you're listening, please text her.
Yeah, text me. Let me know. I would love to look up my phone here. Give them a shout out because it's pretty cool, much safer. Anyway.
Yes.
I digress. But I searched for athlepreneur, and it's not anywhere in the search engines.
It's right here, right now.
Yeah.
Do you know how to trademark anything?
You get a good lawyer?
Yeah.
Yeah. I know. There are a couple of things that I think I need to start looking at that. But anyway, the whole point to that was, when I was kind of just doing a little research on the athlepreneur and the ability of what it takes to be a successful athlete and then what it takes to be a successful entrepreneur and how well they just kind of mesh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Like, when you're growing up and you're playing sports, good coaches tell you that the lessons you learn on the field or on the rink or on the ice or on the court, it's not about the winning. It's about the lessons that you learn and how you can apply them to your rest of your life. And as a high school student or a middle school student, you don't really listen to it, but it resonates, especially as you start going on job interviews and they're like, hey, give me an example of this. And you're like, oh, I have all these sports references that I can remember learning all these lessons and how to apply.
Yeah.
Teamwork, communication, overcoming adversity, right? It's very hand in hand.
When I was in corporate America, this is a little pet peeve of mine. You have your speakers, so you go to like seminars and conferences and things like that, right? And you have your speakers up there, and inevitably there was, the men speakers who would give the sports analogies.
Absolutely.
I never had a problem with that. I'm like, that's part's life. There are women that give sports analogies, this sports analogies, and you'd have people complain, stop with the sports analogies. I'm like, why? Like, that's the pet peeve. Like, it's a great analogy.
Yep.
Come on.
Yep. It's like, I can see exactly what they were talking about in that example.
Yeah. Anyway, I think it's amazing because you have so many people who are naturally sporty. What's my word there?
I don't know where you're going with this.
Sports inclined.
Physically inclined.
Physically inclined. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not sports, not team sports anyway.
Okay.
I was always horses and gymnastics and cheerleading, stuff like that. Just my own stuff.
Yeah.
Where I work. Make me.
You work by yourself, but in gymnastics in particular, you work by yourself, but your score goes towards the team score, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
True.
So that's
it's still a team.
Exactly.
Yeah. But anyway, having that mindset when you're an athlete, I think it is such a great preparation for what comes next.
Yeah.
And I think it's very cool. And so I actually read an article, doesn't really matter except it was kind of a cool article on 29 professional athletes who have turned into entrepreneurs. interestingly too, my friend who brought me into radio, Lowell Whiteman, so if y'all watch him, he's awesome. He's on every Friday at 11, I think. So he is a mindset coach, but he's been in professional sports for years and years and years. And so he is the guy who a lot of times he helps the younger athletes, but then he can also help the professional athletes who turn into business people and entrepreneurs. So it's pretty cool because sometimes you need a little bit of help also in that transition.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So he's got a great show. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about, here was a question that I have.
Bring it.
Because I think that a lot of people believe that if I do the stair stepper an hour every day, or if I do a run 2 hours every day, or if I just do tons and tons of cardio, that's the way to lose weight or get healthy or whatever the case may be. And a lot of times, what happens? We don't see results.
No.
Yeah.
Or you get an overuse injury because you do the same thing repetitively over and over again.
Yeah. So, again, going back to why doing something like CrossFit or is a good thing because it's always different.
Yes.
And you got to build muscle.
Yes.
So climbing a stair stepper, not easy to say. Not for me anyway.
I'm not even going to try it. Nope, not going to try it. Yes. So, doing a stair stepper, going for a run, those are one thing that you can do, but it's never just one thing. Right?
Right.
If you eat healthy, but you don't exercise, you don't move, that's one component. You're never going to be as healthy as you could be. What we do, and the reason that cross-training, just across the board, cross-training is so beneficial is because it gets you moving in different planes, right? We're not just going forward and backward. If you're on a stair stepper, you're going up and down, but pretty much just moving forward. If you're running, you're going forward. When you look at sports, just kind of tying it all together, sports are in all sorts of planes of motion. You've got lateral, you've got forward and back, you've got rotational. What we do is we try to optimize those so that you are moving up and down in a squat or in a press. You're pushing and pulling both horizontally as well as vertically. You're learning to hinge so that picking up objects, whether you're moving or whether you're just picking up your child, your grandchild, your groceries, you're learning the proper way to load the system so that you can remain healthy, right? Not just injury free. Everyone says, I don't want to get hurt. Going back into mindset and words matter, it's not that I don't want to get hurt, it's that I want to stay healthy. Yeah. Right? Yeah. So you're learning all of these different, and I mean there's basically 5. It's push, pull, hinge, squat, and then weighted carry. Those are basically the 5 movements that we have as humans, and then you add in the planes, laterally, front and back, and then rotational. Okay. So we try to expose athletes to as many of those as safely as possible so that you can be prepared for all of the movements that you will see outside of the gym in life. It's
functional movements, right?
Yes.
So it's awesome because it just keeps you in shape, but it prepares you for life.
Yes.
Which is what movement, I mean, again, it leads to not necessarily longevity, but yes, it can. Right? Yep. I just want to make sure because, again,
we're not speaking in absolutes.
Absolutely.
That was totally not planned.
How was that? But those movements as we age, we have to be able to do the movements. If you're young and you have some excess weight, it gets more difficult to pick up your children, right? Things can be difficult and they don't have to be.
Yes.
And so I just again, it's this when you do this that it keeps you from getting bored.
Yes, it keeps you from getting bored. It keeps you from being stuck in the same repetitive movement patterns. And whether it's an injury or whether it's a lack of results, when you're not reaching the moment or the points that you want, it leads you back inside. If you're injured, you can't go out. If you're a runner, if you injure yourself, if you get shin splints, plantar fasciitis, you can't run. Yeah. What else do you have to do? And then all of a sudden now you're inside waiting for being patient, not necessarily recovering, but waiting for the injury to heal. Yeah. And if it's totally lost my train of thought. That's why I
I
write
do
stuff
that
down.
all the time.
That's why I write stuff down. But it's whether it's an injury or whether it's you don't have anything else to do and it's snowing outside. It's springtime. It's cycling season.
Mm-hmm.
But the weather turns and I can't cycle. If you don't have another outlet for your physical capability, you're kind of, screwed. And you're like, all right, cool. What can I do? What we do, cross training, CrossFit, other types of functional movements, they allow you to train in the off season to be better when you're in season. It also, if you're doing it right, it leads to a durability in your system. From, okay, cool, I'm going to run a marathon, I'm going to run a triathlon. If I weight train and I get better, proper range of motion and know how to load it, now when I'm going through hours of swimming, hours of cycling, my body's prepared to handle that kind of abuse. Because just like you were saying, if we overdo it, we still lead to inflammation.
Right.
So it's learning the proper amount. It's like on a dial, right? Dial up a little bit of the cardio, dial back a little bit of the weight training, invert it, kind of back and forth.
Yeah. Yeah. So on that, when we're talking about, the functional movements, but then different people need different things.
All the time.
Right.
Yeah.
And so, yes, we need different things all the time, but then as our comfort levels, so what I'm trying to get into is what you offer, because I think it's so smart that you offer basically from not like beginning of life, but children to...
Technically we do.
Yeah?
Because we have a birth fit program.
True.
We actually, from cradle
program.
all the way up, we have our pre, peri, and postnatal birth fit classes. Actually,
this is cool stuff.
Quick plug.
Yeah.
If I can find the notes, I think we're actually starting our postpartum session in June.
Cool.
So our next postpartum is in June. So
awesome.
Yes.
I love that.
So we do our for pregnant women. We've got our birth fit program, and then we have our kids program from 3 to 6, from 6 or 7 till 12. So a little bit of an age gap. That's where we start. And again, it's helping children learn to move. Because it's intuitive when we're really young.
Right.
It's like the biggest things, rolling over, learning to crawl, learning to walk, and the proper progression of that. And then from there, once we get into like the school age, kind of physical activities kind of shoved to the wayside. So what we do is we bring kids in to help them learn to move properly, help them, honestly at that age, it's to remember how to move properly. From there, it's getting them into falling in love with physical activities and games. Yeah. Right? More and more, we're getting, society's getting away from letting kids be physically active in games.
What is that?
I don't know.
I mean, they're taking away they're like outside recess and stuff like that from kids. We have to be outside.
Oh yeah, like even in New York, Mom would say, "Go outside. Do not come back until the street light is on." Street light's on. That's the indicating like you're allowed to come back into the house.
Yeah. We were kind of the same. It was go outside, go back in the woods, go ride your horses, go do what you do, and we'll see you at dinner time.
Yes. And you learn how to be agile because you're hopping over things, you're running around, you're learning how to be physical, both just in your own skin as well as with other kids, and whether it's throwing and catching or even wrestling. And I think it's called big body play. I think there's actually research going into children with big body play and how to be physically active with each other.
Oh,
and learn, because like if I pinch you, you're going to respond facially. So as a young child, I learn, oh, that's a pain face. She didn't like that. Don't do that again. And then learning how to interact in space with other people. Oh, interesting. So that's, a lot of different things going on. Yeah. Back to the science. Can't get away from it. So we have that for the young ones. Then from 6, 7 to 12, now you're learning how to exercise, right? It's all basically body weight or lightweight kettlebells or PVC pipes, learning how to control an external object because it's something that we can't get away from as teenagers, as adults. You have to control outside objects. So we get that kind of worked into our program with our young children. Not super young, but young children.
Yeah, sure.
And then we're developing our teen program, which is a little bit more strength and conditioning for the teenage athletes that are learning and wanting to improve in their sports, right? So it's still general physical preparedness, learning the proper way to squat. We've been working with some teenage girls, and it's amazing how many of them have forgotten the proper way to squat. If you look at my 2-year-old son, perfect squat.
Yeah.
My 13-year-old, I will give her credit. She has a very beautiful squat, but some of her friends not so much.
Yeah.
So
Well, she grew up with you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. So it's learning the proper way to go through all of those movements. From there, we've got, after the teenage program, we've got our regular classes. And that is from basically 18 all the way up through 50. And recently, with our coach Karen, we have a 50-plus program. And this is the biggest thing for an aging population is fear. As you get older, things hurt, yes, but you're afraid of things hurting worse.
Yeah.
You're afraid of breaking things, which helps, which forces us to retreat into the house, to limit exercise to maybe just walking.
Yeah.
If you're walking the dog, and my father-in-law was always happened to him, he had a husky. And if she saw something, a rabbit, or any kind of small rodent, she would take off, and he would end up going either onto the ground or just getting kind of jerked forward.
Yeah.
So it's training our older population, again, how re-educating them, how to move properly, how to brace themselves, how to handle an external load, how to properly hinge at the hips so they don't throw out their back, bending over to pick up the grandchildren. It's also, okay, cool, we want you to learn to properly squat so that you can push off needing assistance as long as is humanly possible.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the thing, is nobody wants to need the cane, need the walker, need to go into assisted living, any of that stuff. And that's, our whole lives prepare us for age, and we need to take it seriously, and it's not too late. Yeah. So another quick break. Zymogen, one of my favorite supplement companies, they are big supporters of the clinician, the practitioner, and their clients and patients. And so they are backed by lots and lots of data. So truly one of my favorite companies, not the only company that I use, because when I use supplements, it just depends on my clients. But they're one, I use them a lot. I need data. Yeah, I have to have data, and in order for me to use it, you got to show me the data. It's kind of like show me the money, show me the data.
Show me the data, absolutely.
So you can go to my website. The way that you would go through it is there's a down at the bottom. There's a
link.
What do you call it? A link. It's a thing. It's not a link. It is a link. See, words are hard.
They are, and they matter.
Man, and they matter. You click on, it's a link, it's a picture. It's this. It says whole scripts. For the love of Pete. It says whole scripts. Just click on whole scripts. Click on the image.
Click on the image of whole scripts.
I'm just going to let you
it
do this for me.
It will take you to a link that will send you to the website.
See?
From there,
I don't need to do this anymore.
Email Nikki, set up a session, and she will tell you what you specifically need because you're an individual. You are not getting a cookie cutter program. Although cookies would be a wonderful nutritional diet. Just a cookie diet.
That would be amazing, wouldn't it?
Maybe.
Not very beneficial.
No, it
would. If it actually worked.
Depending on your goals. Right? It's totally.
Anyway, so he did it better than I did because then he promoted me. So that's awesome. Thanks, Coop.
My pleasure. I don't do well talking about myself or what I do, but I can promote the hell out of somebody else.
Right. I'll take it. Okay, so
yes,
we have a few minutes left, and I want to be sure you talk about, where to find you and that kind of thing. But I think one of the things that I want to make sure that we hit on, and this isn't news to anybody, but I think it's important to understand, I don't know, the science behind movement and why it's important and what it does for us physically, mentally, emotionally, all of the things it can do for our bodies. Oh, and I have one thing I want to talk about, what we'll get to in a minute as we move through this.
Absolutely.
But, is there anything, I was going to kind of go through this. Do you want to add some stuff like for you and what you see?
What I've experienced, I've trained everybody from Broadway dancers all the way up through grandmothers. The biggest change that we have on people is in between the ears. Muscle growth, absolutely.
Yeah.
Flexibility, mobility, absolutely. Balance, yes. Speed, yes. Power, definitely. But the biggest change is in between the ears.
Yeah.
The confidence, the stress reduction,
Mm-hmm.
all of the chemical changes that exercise and movement have, and being able to challenge yourself in ways that you didn't think possible.
Mm-hmm.
My favorite exercise is rope climbs, because go ahead, yeah. Yeah. Reason behind it. One, it's a great physical exercise. It gets upper body,
The whole
core,
body,
the whole
yeah.
thing, cardiovascular. But more so is so many people that I've encountered have a negative gym class experience with the rope climb.
Mm.
They were the kid that couldn't climb the rope. The
Mhm.
gym teacher shamed them. The kids shamed them. And all of a
Wow.
sudden, you're put in a situation as an adult where you're thrust back to being 6 years old, 7
Mhm.
years old,
Mhm.
and you're like, I can't climb the rope. And I'm like, I'll make you a bet that you can. And then you actually take the time to teach them
Yep.
how to climb it. And then the look of pride that they have, that they've
Aw.
conquered this lifelong, unknown,
Yeah.
subconscious fear of climbing a rope, and then it becomes their favorite exercise.
That's amazing. I love that. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, the change in between
Mhm.
the ears.
Yeah,
So,
it's
what else we got?
true. So I guess it's such a huge part of life is the can do and not the I can't
Yeah.
or I shouldn't
Yep.
or
Yeah.
kind of stuff. One of the things that I really appreciated when I was looking at some of this stuff, because again, these are all things that you know, but when I talk to people, I deal a lot with stress. Not me, yes,
Yes.
me personally, but everybody does,
Your
and my
clients,
clients, I'm like, okay, we need to do some stress reduction. You have to. It's important for your brain. It's important for your body. You got to do it. So stress literally shrinks the brain. Movement makes the brain grow, and movement decreases stress. And so it was really fun because it's actually the hippocampus that the movement increases. Movement
It lights it
increases
up,
the
yeah.
hippocampus.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so it was fun to have that little circle there, and it just makes sense. You got to move to decrease stress. You got to, and you want to grow your brain. I need to grow my brain.
We all do. We all do. In every direction we can.
There's another one, and I think this is important for you men. You're a man.
Yes, I am.
So we have a terrible situation of ED. Men are suffering. I'm not looking at you.
Yes, you were.
Well, I did.
But it's a
you're with
conversation.
me.
It's a conversation. Yes.
But it's a problem, and so erectile dysfunction, right? And so this is a huge issue, and what's happening is we're looking at it only chemically or as just a penis problem when it's not. So erectile dysfunction, actually ED should stand for endothelial dysfunction, which really is a cardiovascular situation, right? So you're looking at, if you have ED, you're looking at a higher chance of stroke, you're looking at a higher chance of heart attack, because it's not the penis, it's what is inside the vasculature that's creating the problem. And so exercise helps all of that stuff. Besides, it increases testosterone, both for men and women, but we need it in men. Well, women need it too, but not to the extent. But I think when we have these commercials that come back and tell us that, hey, I can get you working again, but they don't address the underlying cause. That's what functional medicine, functional nutrition is addressing the underlying cause. It's only looking at the symptom. The symptom is unable to function properly. Fine, it's a problem and it's demotivating, but we need to figure out why. We need to understand why. And so going back to basics, saying this is a problem, I need to get in the gym, I need to figure out what I'm eating and eat the right things to allow for my cardiovascular system to work properly. You do all of these things, probably you're not going to have the ED that we started out talking about.
Yes. Kind of tie it all the way full circle.
It's-
So you
yeah.
come to the gym, you move, you eat properly, and we can facilitate more babies.
More babies.
Or just a happy Friday night.
There we go. Or as I would say, hump day.
Yep.
It's hump day. Larry always likes that one.
Does he now?
You know, he's a man.
Yes, he is.
Oh man, it's 11 o'clock already. So, I think at this point we just gotta stop. So, talk about where you are,
Yes.
where you can be found. You're doing a bunch of online stuff.
Yep.
And so the online stuff can be from anywhere in the country or outside of the country. This is all over the world.
Hello, world. Yeah, so we are located in Wheat Ridge, over off 44th and Harlan, over by the Walmart. That's where our physical location is. We can be found at vantagemovement.com. And then from there, again, we've got images that you can click on.
Images that you can click on.
It's
hard.
We've got links that you can follow that can give you more information about who we are, what we do, and how we can help you. And as Nikki was saying, thanks to 2020, we now have a bigger online coaching presence. So regardless of where you are in Colorado, where you are in the country, where you are in the world, we can connect with you, get to know who you are, get to know what your goals are, kind of what your exercise and life history is, what your story is, and then figure out what would be best to help you attain those goals that you want to move towards the person that you want to become.
Because you're an individual. You're not like everybody else. Perfect.
Thank you for inviting me here.
Yeah, thanks for being here.
Absolutely.
This was super fun.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. Thank you, Nikki. Taste Life Nutrition, all over the place, all social media, website, the whole thing. So you can go to the website and fill out a free assessment, and it comes straight to me. I reach out to you personally. We can chitty-chat a little bit about what we might be able to do to help you, and if we need more intense work, then that's what I'm here for, and that's what I love. So look out for some cool things coming. We have in the past talked about a course that I'm co-creating with Drs. Lynn and Sam, who also have their show here. That is coming very soon. We're just always trying to make it better and better and better, and it's pretty cool stuff, if I should say so myself. Go and sign up if you have interest in, especially this is really for you women. We have a Facebook group that we're calling Body Bliss, and it is for the busy professional woman. It's lifestyle design. It's what we call lifestyle design for the busy woman. It's guidance in helping people to be their best, their optimal for the busy woman, the entrepreneur, the mompreneur, those who work their tails off and are like, I'm still not quite getting where I need to be because of pain, fatigue, brain fog, whatever those things are. We're here to support and to build this community and have some fun. So thanks, everybody. We will see you in 2 weeks.